Well, hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. And on today's how-to video I'm going to try something that I've been meaning to try for quite a while to see if it works, and I've now got the opportunity, and that is to use Harpic Power Plus 10 time clean and protect to try and clean all of the crud and years of accumulated muck and discoloration from these Yamaha SRX 600 headers or downpipes, as I used to call them back in the day. These days they seem to be called headers. But yeah, so these are stainless steel. I know that because at the bottom here it says Yamaha stainless. I wouldn't want to necessarily try this on chrome or aluminium, but stainless steel. This process apparently does work, but we're going to find out. We're going to test the theory ourselves, see if it does. I've got two perfect candidates here. Both exhausts are as bad as each other. Both heads are as bad as each other, I should say. So let's give this a go and we'll see if it works or not. So first of all, what is this stuff? Well, it's actually a toilet cleaner or bathroom cleaner. And obviously the instructions on the back are specifically to do with cleaning bathrooms. Interestingly, this does say down at the bottom that it does contain 9% hydrochloric, 9 grams I should say, of hydrochloric acid, which doesn't seem a massive amount, but we'll give it a go and we'll see. As far as these sorts of products that you can buy, you know, from your average supermarket, this one appears to be the one that most people recommend for this process, and certainly of the 2 or 3 that I've looked at, this is the only one that actually seems to include hydrochloric acid. So let's, I've already gloved up. It says wear gloves, so I've done that. I'm in a nice well ventilated area. I've got my paintbrush, I've got a scouring brush, and I've got a cleaning cloth as well. You can just clean these up with a scouring pad or like a you know, wet and dry, that type of thing. But obviously what happens then is you get a dull finish on there, which you then got to polish. I'm hoping with this, what we'll do is we'll remove all of this tarnish and we'll leave a shiny or shinier finish that won't require too much polishing, if any. But we'll see how that goes. What you should not use on stainless steel in theory is non-ferrous, so it shouldn't rust. Not all stainless steels are the same. Some cheap stainless steels do use ferrous metals, and therefore you'd know that because if you put a magnet on it, the magnet would be attracted to it. But what you shouldn't use on these really is iron wool, because if you use iron wool on them, iron wool gets stuck in the metal and then they will rust, because iron wool will rust. So don't use iron wool. Let's get this stuff on the go and see what happens. We'll just do one and we can use the other one as the comparison. It doesn't really matter which one. Let's go with this one and we'll see how we go. You know, I think I'm going to do is get a container and just put some of this into a container before we go any further. Okay, this stuff is bright blue. Wasn't really expecting that. I don't suppose it really matters what colour it is though. Let's move that one out of the way. Let's start painting this on. Try and keep it over the cardboard. Right, the instructions talk about leaving this on for 10 minutes. Wow, that is an amazing difference as soon as you put that on there. Not so sure about what it's doing to the headers, but on that piece at the top, that collar at the top, it made a massive difference straight away. Right, so let's get this on. It smells quite nice. Probably shouldn't be sniffing it though, to be fair. Let's put that on. You can see it doing something as soon as it hits that. So this is just a really soft paintbrush I've got here. There's nothing special about this. We'll get that painted on. We'll go down as far as I can without getting it all over my gloves. Let's work it all in. I've seen plenty of videos on YouTube with people doing this. Some people seem to get reasonable results, other people seem to get amazing results, and some people say it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. So I don't quite know why that would be the case, but anyway, let's brush this on and we'll give it time to work. We'll leave it it's 10 minutes or so. I shall go and have a cup of tea, and we'll be back in 10 minutes and we'll see if we need to do any harder scrubbing with the scouring pad, or whether we're getting results as it is. Okay, so that's been 10 minutes and I haven't touched it in that time, so let's just give it another final go with this. So I'm not scrubbing at all with this. This is just a really soft paintbrush, and well, it's better. It is better, there's no doubt about that. I'll wipe it off in a minute and you can have a look. It's certainly better, but to be honest, I'm not sure it's living up to the hype that it gets on all the other videos, or a lot of the other videos at the moment. Although I haven't really scrubbed it at all. The whole point is I didn't really want to scrub it, because I don't want to take the shine off it really and then have to repolish it. But I suppose this exhaust, to be fair, these headers are from a 1987 bike. Don't suppose they've ever been off the bike, certainly never been cleaned. The bike was out in all weathers. So I don't know, maybe I'm expecting too much from this so-called miracle product. But you know, at the end of the day, it's only a chemical reaction with the acid and whatever else is in there against the stubborn dirt and stains and all the rest of it that are on these. Right, I'm going to wipe that off, but just with a soft cloth, just so you can see the difference. Let's give that a go. Right, so I'm not going to put any pressure on that at all. All I'm doing is just wiping that off. Like so. Okay. So to be fair, there is a substantial difference there. If I get the other pipe, I'll show you. So you can see the difference between the two pipes. This one obviously is the one that hasn't been done. This is the one that has been done. There is a marked improvement, but it's still not exactly what you call pristine. So I think we are going to have to go in with some kind of scourer as well. So I think what we've learned from this is that this product does work in as much as, you know, it does definitely clean up a load of the tarnishing and the marks and the corrosion and all the rest of it that's on these. But in this case, it's not exactly got it back to an A1 state. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some more on. Let's move that one out of the way again. I'll put some more on, and then this time, while this is on here, we'll have a go with the scourer as well. So what I'm trying to avoid is really scratching this up too much. The more scratches you put on something, the duller it's going to look. And the reason for that is because of the way all the scratches reflect the light. Go look that up on your physics websites. So this is a standard Scotch Brite green pad. So we'll give this a go and we'll see how this starts to come up with this. See if this makes any difference. I'm not a great fan of the idea of these miracle cures for things. They rarely work in reality. And I think it's probably fair to say it's the same, or at least in my instance with this one. So I've seen videos where people seem to do this for about 20 seconds and they come up and they're absolutely spotless. So maybe they just weren't as bad as these are, or I don't know. maybe this is just because it's ingrained, or yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's coming off, but is it coming off any quicker than it would if I just use the scourer on its own? As far as I'm concerned, the jury's still out. So I'm going to go over this for a few minutes and we'll see where we get. So if you've been watching the SRX restoration project bike that I'm working on, that's now getting to the stage where we've got a rolling chassis now, and really the next job is to put the top end of the engine together, the bottom end's all together, put the top end of the engine together and then get it back in the frame. Hence the reason I'm looking at, I turn my attention to the exhaust, although they won't go back on till later, but they just sort of came into view as I was sorting out some engine bits and pieces, and I was just about to place my Tesco order for home delivery, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get some Harpic and I'm going to give this a go and we'll see how it's gone. So I've been scrubbing that now for a couple of minutes, I suppose, something like that. Not very long, still covered in the Harpic. So let's have a look. I suppose at the end of the day, these pipes are back from 1987, so to expect anything really to get them back to absolutely as they were when they came out of the factory is asking a bit much, to say the least. But I say, you can use scourers on them, you can use abrasives on them, and then all you're going to do is scratch it up and then you have to polish it afterwards, which is pretty much where I'm going with it now. So actually that's not bad. That's not bad for the effort that I've put into that for a couple of minutes or so. That really isn't too bad at all, I suppose. So let me see if I can show you this. Oops. So I mean that's a dull finish, but it is clean, to be fair. A couple of more minutes work on that and I think I'd probably be happy with that. Some of these areas have come up slightly shinier, but I reckon a few more minutes with the scourer and with the Harpic, I think we can get to the stage where we get some Autosol on there, or some what do you guys use in America? Mothers, I think you call it. Similar sort of stuff, and I reckon that's going to come up. Anyway, when I finish these, I'll put a picture of them up and you can see where I got to at the end. But for me, it's okay. It works. It certainly got a load of the surface stuff off, but I don't think it's the miracle cure other videos claim it to be. Just my 2 pence worth. So I felt this video just needed a final conclusion, really, just to see where I'd got in the end with this. Obviously the Harpic did do a reasonable job of getting rid of all the surface rubbish and all the ingrained muck that I'm sure would have taken, and rust, that would have taken quite a long time to get off using any other kind of method. I don't think it's the miracle cure that people say that it is. Other people that have perhaps had better results than I got, but I think when you've got a pipe like this that's, you know, from a 1987 bike, probably never been cleaned, been out in all sorts of weather, you know, I can't really say that something like a household cleaner is going to do the job completely. I mean, if it was, there wouldn't be professional polishers out there, and I guarantee if you take something like this into a polisher, professional polishing shop, and you said to them, I can get that clean with Harpic, they just roll their eyes at you. I'm pretty sure professional polishing shops don't use Harpic. So what I did with, I've left that one as a so you can see the difference. So once I'd finished with the Harpic, what I did was I went back to what I would normally do, and I finished this one off on the polishing mops in the bench grinder. It's the old-fashioned way, it's the traditional way. It takes a long time to get this one to where it is now. Took me something like 2 hours. It's still not perfect. That's just some condensation on there. It's still not perfect. It has got some pits in which I can't get out unless I start to really eat away at the metal. But for the purposes of what I'm doing with the restoration, to me, that is more than good enough. If I take that up and offer it to the bike, the engine's not in the bike at the minute, but basically, you know, I think if that was on your bike, you'd be more than happy with the result of that. If we come over here to this one, this is a chrome downpipe, and that's the stainless steel finish and the results that I've got after about 2 hours work. So I'm pretty pleased with that, to be honest. So to get the results like that from that, basically, well, you've seen me do the Harpic. It does work. I can't discount it, but it's not the miracle cure that everybody seems to suggest that it is. So to me, it's a bit of an internet myth that it'll get it from that to that. It clearly doesn't. The only way of doing that, in my opinion, is you use your polishing mops. So you start off with your white one, which is your sisal polishing wheel, and you use the black compound. This is for hard metals, stainless steel, that sort of thing, not for copper, brass, aluminium, alloy. Don't go using a sisal polishing wheel and the black compound. All you'll end up doing is well, it'll take you forever. There are different compounds for that, but for stainless steel, you can use your sisal polishing wheel with the black compound, and then you can use this wheel, which is what they call a colour stitch wheel, which is slightly softer than this wheel, and you use the green compound with that one, and time, basically, and then you can get to that sort of finish in about 2 hours. That took me from that. So that's the conclusion to the video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please click the like button down below, subscribe to the channel, and there'll be more how-to videos coming along very soon.